Hello everyone and welcome back. So in this video we are going to solve this problem we have right over here, that is ways to tile a floor. The problem statement says given a floor of dimension 2 cross W and tiles of dimensions 2 cross 1, the task is to find the number of ways the floor can be tiled. A tile can either be placed horizontally, that is as 1 cross 2 tile, or vertically as 2 cross 1 tile. Print the answer, that's something we'll skip for now. So that's the problem statement we have. And now I want you to take a moment, maybe you could possibly pause and let the question sink in properly. So this question indeed is a Fibonacci in disguise. So to start with, let's just set up the base problem statement, that is we have tiled floor. Let this be our tiled floor, which is 2 cross n, so this I'll take as 2 and the horizontal as n. Doesn't matter whichever view you take, you can take n cross 2. I have taken 2 cross n for now. So we have tiles, just a second. So we have tiles, that is 2 cross 1, and it can be rotated as 1 cross 2 as well. So it's here, over here, 1 cross 2. So I'm going to call this as horizontal. Let's represent it with capital H, and this as vertical, represented by capital V. So when n is 1, we have just one way. So we will make dp1 equal to 1. So here when n is equal to 1, the only way is to put the tile vertically, no possibility of horizontal. Moving on to n equal to 2, we'll just initialize the RDP. We see dp2 is equal to 2. Now we can see over here on this table, when n is equal to 2, we have just one vertical, one possibility. Both the tiles are placed vertically, and one horizontal, one horizontal. Both the tiles are placed horizontally. One vertical and one horizontal is not possible. We place two verticals like this or two horizontals like this. These are the only two possibilities. Therefore, when n is equal to 2, we have two possibilities, and we'll put dp2 is equal to 2. So when n is equal to 3, we don't know what our answer will be. But now for n greater than equal to 3, when I say this, dpn is equal to dpn minus 1 plus dpn minus 2. Yes, I am writing the formula for Fibonacci series, and this must not be something that you naturally understand why n equal to 3 we got this, but in a moment we'll look up how this formula works and how we came up to this. So we target this section of the table where n is equal to 3. When n is equal to 3, what we will do is, let's say all the possible ways to fill this section, it be x, and the only possible way to fill the remaining is 1, that is place one vertical. So we place one vertical with all the possible x combinations, so it will be x into 1, where x is nothing but 2. As we know, n equal to 2, we have dp2 is equal to 2, and that 2 is nothing but dpn minus 1 for n equal to 3. So this is how we came up with it becomes dpn minus 1 into 1. Now we will add, but add what? So I'll just clean up this. Now we will change our targeted section. We will change our targeted section to one more back. We get one further away from our n, and let's call it y. Number of ways to fill this area, tile this area, be y. So we have y is equal to 1, and that is nothing but dp n minus 2, and we have remaining this area, and the possible ways to fill the remaining area is put two horizontal tiles. So it is one possible way. So I will multiply y with 1, but that is not the only way to fill that particular remaining area. What I can, however, I can also fill it with placing two vertical tiles. But actually it's not quite that simple. I can't include it, I can't do 1 plus 1 for this arrangement, because this arrangement has already been, I cut this one because this arrangement has already been considered in X earlier. When we considered X division, uh, X was probably a lot of cases in which a possible arrangement could have been this, because when we place two vertical tiles, we clearly see that there is no, the two entities, that n minus 1 and the last vertical tiles are discrete, they are not connected. So it must have been counted in X possible ways that we earlier considered. Think about it, draw it on paper, and you'll definitely understand it. Now, why not n minus 3? Why we stopped at n minus 2? Why not go for dp n minus 3? The simple reason is because we have the tile of length maximum 2. So because tile is of length maximum 2, so anyway, if we did for n minus 3, what will mathematically happen is we will have, let's say, plus z. Z will be dp n minus 3, and z will be into 1 plus some a plus b, 1 plus 1 and number of times. So all the quantities under this bracket will cancel out, because it has been already considered either in dp n minus 1 or n minus 2, because the maximum size of the tile was 2. So there is no possible other scenario, and thus it will be dp n minus 3 into 0. So the entire term cuts out in the addition. So on a quick summary, what we did is we broken the n table n length long into n minus 1, and last we separated out the last element, and we considered that to tile n minus 1 floors we have dp n minus 1 answer already known, and on top of it, it's only possible to multiply it with 1 to find the number of combinations ways to tile n floors, and plus uh, we separated the last two elements from n table because the length of the tile at max was 2. So this will be the last separation, and we consider that we know that the number of ways to tile n minus 2 floors, n minus 2 length long floor is known, and it is stored in dp n minus 2, and what we do is we multiply it with only one possible combination that is new and not repeated, and the sum of the two gives us the number of possible ways to tile the floor, which is n length long, and for this we required the knowledge of n minus 1, what are the number of ways to tile n minus 1 and what are the number of ways to tile n minus 2. We can solve this in two fashion: top down, we start with n, end at 0 and then return back to n, or we can do it bottom up, we start with 0, reach to n and return n. So now I have switched back to my editor, and over here I have already coded the simple recursion method, which is quite simple, as once we decode the problem and understand that it's nothing but an implementation of Fibonacci series, what we need to do now is apply dynamic programming to save up us time and improve our time complexity of the program. So what I will do is I will use bottom up or the tabulation method. I like it because it doesn't involve recursion and the loop replaces it, and I always want to just get rid of the recursion, because as the program gets heavy, it's difficult to understand what's happening in the recursion, whereas loop is simple to understand. So to start with, I'll form our array. I'll name it as counting dp. I'll make it n plus 1 elements long and assign each element to 0. If this notation is new to you, I'll just comment it out and write it like a more simpler way, that is 0 into n plus 1. So it's creating nothing but an array of n plus 1 elements. Now I will iterate in the loop, and if I is equal to 0 or 1, what I will do is count I is equal to 1. It's just to make sure that I have n minus 1 and n minus 2 ready. And now if n is greater than or equal to 2, what I will do is counting dp is equal to counting dp I minus 1 plus counting dp I minus 2. At the end, I will return counting dp n. So let's run this program and check out if it's working. For 3 it gives 3, for 4 it gives 5, so it's working well. Thank you for watching this video. Until next time, take care, goodbye.